Welcome to today's chapel. We begin by acknowledging the traditional territory upon which we work and study. For many thousands of years, the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dene, and Dakota peoples have sought to walk gently on this land. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories, we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. May we continue to change and grow together during this Christmas season. It's the beginning of December, and Christmas excitement is beginning to build as people decorate their schools, homes and offices, shop for gifts, make plans with their family and friends, and practice and plan for concerts and pageants. In today's chapel, we're going to hear from some students and staff about the different ways that they celebrate Christmas during the Advent season. As you listen, think about the meaning of some of your own Christmas traditions and the reasons for gathering at this time of year. How do you celebrate Christmas?
Ethan, Ella, and I are first cousins, and we celebrate Christmas over 2 days of festivities. It all starts on Christmas Eve with an evening of being together and presents. But the reason for Christmas Eve is because our Oma and Opa immigrated here from Holland in the 1950s and were farmers. So every Christmas morning, every morning they had to wake up and the family had to milk the cows. And after milking cows, get ready and go to church. And that was their start to Christmas Day. So because of the busyness of Christmas morning, they did gifts on Christmas Eve. Also part of Dutch tradition is to celebrate Sinterklaas Day on December 5th, which was the day of exchanging gifts in Holland. And so taking those two kind of pieces of our family history together, we decided to have our celebrations for Christmas Eve continued on Christmas Eve, and that's our big kind of fun time together as a family.
Yeah, so just a little bit more on Christmas Eve. That's basically just more of like a chill evening on like right before the big like day of Christmas, which is more where it's like our more immediate family and some of our cousins. We're all coming together, opening presents and stuff. We have like more of an appetizer night. It's not so much like this like big like Christmas dinner with like ham and all that stuff. It's more just like these appetizers that we all make and all the food that we really love. And yeah, so it's just like a really fun day before like actual Christmas and like going to church and that sort of stuff, which not that it's not fun, of course, but it's just more like the appetizers, presents, just more of like a chill evening. Instead of like opening them on Christmas Day in the morning, it's more of like an evening thing, which is really nice. So yeah, that's Christmas Eve for us.
we also do a gift exchange. I think that's what it's called. Basically, you get assigned to someone, and I think you tell them what gifts you want, and then they can choose. And then a pretty epic thing is you write a poem.
Merry Christmas!
Everyone will write a poem to the person they're doing the gift exchange for. Obviously, my poem's gonna be by far the best, so stay tuned for that. Maybe it's gonna be so great, it's actually gonna be in the news or something like that. So yeah, that's the gift exchange. It's also a $50 limit. You can't go over $50.
On Christmas Day, we our mornings kind of start with getting ready to go to church. Following that, rather our whole weekend is really planned on where it has to be, because it has to be at certain houses for everything. So every Christmas Eve is at my mom's house. There is no straying from these traditions. Church, following church, we go to Ethan and Ella's house for coffee and cake. No straying from that tradition. And then that afternoon, we head back to my mom's house for our big Christmas dinner. Again, no straying from the tradition of locations, because they are very important. I can't imagine Christmas doing it at other people's places. Like, it needs to be at those locations as well. And then, yeah, Christmas Day in the evening is our big sit down, big meal together as a group with Ethan and Ella and their family, my family of my children, but also with my parents and sister and our grandparents. And that is our Christmas.
So this is Elliot. He's in grade 8. And so I'm going to ask him this question. Elliot, how do your family celebrate Christmas usually during this Christmas season?
One thing I like to do during Christmas is eat Chinese food with all my grandparents and my family, and then after that we get to open gifts, and we always get chocolate letters, which is a Dutch tradition that we like to do every year.
What are the letters about? What do they signify?
The letters are normally about your first name and is just the initial of your first name.
Now we're going to hear from Timothy. He's in grade 7 here at Calvin. So Timothy, how do you celebrate Christmas with your family?
Our family celebrates Christmas twice, 25th of December and 7th of January. In Russia, people usually don't celebrate on 25th. Holiday starts in the New Year Eve, and they last until 8th of January. We like to invite our family and friends. We like to sing songs and go caroling. In Russia, our family would always go to church on the Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. Christmas is a very big holiday, Russian holiday. And one more thing. Russia, a Christmas tree will stand until the end of February.
So now we're talking with Sarai. She's in grade 9 here at Calvin. And Sarai, how do you celebrate Christmas with your family?
Well, we make cookies every year, and we also get pan de reyes, which is just regular bread, but it has little dolls inside. And if you get a little doll, you have to make tamales. And we also gather with our church and have like a little posada, a little party, and we sometimes do nativity skits. And we also have some piñatas that we like to break on Christmas time.
Hello, welcome to my home. We love Christmas here and have kept many traditions from when we were children, plus starting many of our own. Usually by first Advent, the house wouldn't be fully decorated, but the wreath with the candles would be on the dining room table, as well as some other decorations. At supper time, the first candle would be lit, and afterwards we would enjoy some Christmas baking and maybe watch a Christmas special on TV. It was black and white. Each Sunday after we would light another candle. The white candle in the center would be lit on Christmas Day. I would also have an Advent calendar. They didn't come with little chocolates like they do now, but with each window open, there would be a little Christmas scene. I still like Advent calendars and get one for myself and my grandchildren. During this time of Advent, we also recognize St. Nicholas Taka, or St. Nicholas Day, on December 6th. Some of you may know this as Sinterklaas. A shoe is put out for St. Nicholas to fill with candy if we were good, or a lump of coal if we weren't. I personally have never gotten a lump of coal. I started collecting nutcrackers as I got older. According to German folklore, the nutcrackers are good luck keepsakes. I like creating little scenic vignettes and change them around every year. When I was a child at home with my parents, our main celebration was Christmas Eve. We would go to church for the Sunday school children's program, which I took part in. We would recite Bible verses in German and sing Christmas carols like Ihr Kinderlein kommet, or O Come Little Children. The excitement would build until finally the program was over and all the children who participated would get a Tüte, which was a brown paper bag filled with nuts, candy, and of course a mandarin orange. Once at home, Christmas presents would be opened that were brought by Der Weihnachtsmann, or Father Christmas, while we were at church. I didn't know who Santa Claus was back then. Aunts, uncles, and cousins would come over to celebrate Christmas Eve with us. We would have a lovely dinner with ham, potato salad, and a variety of delicious treats. The next day, there would be a Christmas Day service at our church, and afterwards I would either play with my new toys or quietly read a new book. Later in the afternoon, we would go to my Oma's house for Christmas dinner. She lived in a big house with a huge staircase with a banister that my cousins and I liked to slide down. On Boxing Day, we would go to my uncle's farm and I would play outside with my cousins. We would love to go through the woods and explore. After dinner, my cousins and I would play board games until it was time to go home. My mom would bake the most delicious Christmas cookies. Pfeffernüsse, those are pepper nuts, a spicy cookie glazed with icing. Lebkuchen, which was a honey cookie. Spritzkuchen cookies that were a cross between shortbread and sugar cookie. And Linzer cookies that were sandwiched together with raspberry jam. Occasionally, my mom would pick up marzipan confections from the German store that were shaped into little fruits and animals. Of course, when Bill and I got married and we had a family of our own, traditions changed slightly. We still go to a Christmas Eve candlelight and carol service, and the last carol of the evening is Silent Night, and the church's lights go out, and we each have a candle that is lit while we are singing. We still open some gifts on Christmas Eve, but some are saved for Christmas morning now. Traditions had to be kind, as my Canadian husband thought it was really strange to open gifts the night before. I personally like to sleep in a little later on Christmas Day and not get up what seems to me to be the middle of the night. We enjoy reading the Christmas story from the Bible, and sometimes we also read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" to the grandchildren before bedtime. Christmas dinner is celebrated with aunts, uncles, and cousins. Each year we take turns hosting, but we all bring food and enjoy a huge turkey feast. Recently, Boxing Day is now spent with our grandchildren, either skating or tobogganing and coming over for more food. Now, these are some of our traditions that have evolved over the years. I am sure you have many of your own as well. So from our house to yours, we wish you a very blessed and Merry Christmas and a very healthy New Year.
There are many ways that people celebrate Christmas and the Advent season. And even though people have different traditional foods and rituals of celebration, there is a common hope. Why do we get together with family and friends? Why do we string lights on trees and in our backyards, lighting up the dark evenings and the nights of winter? What's the point? The Advent season is a time when we are given the opportunity to realize that our ultimate hope is in Jesus. Hope because the world in which we live is in sore need of it. Interestingly, Advent is also a time where we are called to lament, which is an expression of sorrow and grief. If we look around, we can easily see that there is a lot of hurt around us, and the world is longing for the peace of Christ. And that's what Advent is, a season of longing, of waiting, of expectation, of anticipation, and all of this leads to Jesus. So why do we celebrate the ways we do? Why the gifts and the food and the ceremonies and the trimmings and the trappings of Christmas? Because maybe if we take time to think a little, it helps us understand more about what longing means. It's a way to help us feel anticipation. And in the best moments, it leads us out of dark apathy and into what could be light. It reminds us of the power of hope.
All of creation, all of the earth, make straight a highway, a path for the Lord. Jesus is coming soon. Call back the sinner and wake up the saint. Let every nation shout of your fame. Jesus is coming soon. Like a bride waiting for her groom, we'll be a church ready for you. Every heart longing for our King. We sing, even so come, Lord Jesus, come. Even so come, Lord Jesus, come.
As we enter this Advent season, a season of waiting, of anticipation, of longing, I am reminded of this song and the incredible gift Jesus is to us. It is why we spend time each year, thoughtful and meaningful time, to develop traditions and to remember. And this song is Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. I just want to read a piece of it. Come thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free. From our fears and sins release us, let us find our rest in thee. Israel's strength and consolation, hope of all the earth thou art, dear desire of every nation, joy of every longing heart. Born thy people to deliver, born a child and yet a king, born to reign in us forever, now thy gracious kingdom bring. Be thine own eternal spirit, rule in our hearts alone, by thine all-sufficient merit, raise us to thy glorious throne.
So we wait for you. God, we wait, you're coming soon. Like a bride waiting for her groom, we'll be a church ready for you. Every heart longing for our King. We
So from Calvin Christian to you, we pray that you may have the gift of faith, the blessing of hope, and the peace of his love through this Christmas season and always. Merry Christmas.